Welcome back, everybody, to the conclusion of a mammoth stream here on Slipstream EU, and of course the B stream as well over on Slipstream EU too. But the main channel is focusing on the final match of Division 1 Group A playoffs as two more teams battle to take home a spot in the Sunday matches tomorrow. It is ILV Crimson versus Serious Business, a fixture that is do or die for both of these teams. One side is going home in the next 45 minutes, the other remains alive tomorrow. And alongside me to help cast this fixture is Greybeard. How you doing?
I'm fabulous, and we're at closer and closer to the business end of a playoff weekend, and yeah, this is tough. When you're in the upper bracket, you got a chance. You lose, you've got another life. Now those lives have run out. As you've mentioned, one goes home, one goes forward, and Crimson coming off a Game 5 thriller against Astro Allegiance, just losing out there, whereas Serious Business got a little hammered by Dawn God, who they went down in a sweep, who themselves went lost in a sweep in the last series on the stream here. So very interesting, each for the taking. I don't know who to call it for, but both are going to be fighting hard.
Yes, it seems like Astro Allegiance, who just beat Dawn Guard in that sweep, as you mentioned, they seem to be the team that has come out of Group A looking the rosiest, and now ILV Crimson and Serious Business are down here in the lower bracket fighting for scraps. Both of these sides took forfeit wins over Weeby Dreams and Game King Phoenix, who did not get into the playoffs in due course, so a little bit of a gift to be here in the lower bracket round 2 without having to do the extra work. ILV Crimson taking that Game 5 overtime loss to Astro Allegiance. It was a dramatic series that they led 2-1 in before being forced down to the lower bracket by the lower seed. It's a real painful way to come down to the lower bracket, and they're going to have to mentally recover from that against a Serious Business team that means serious business.
Well, we'll see how serious their business is as we get out onto the field and see it in the fiery pit of competitive Rocket League in the lower bracket. Perhaps some bare knuckled brawling out there, but it'll be good not for it to go to a sweep. I'd like to see the series get really close, maybe to a Game 5. But either way, as long as it is tense, tight, fast Rocket League that we get to see.
Well, ILV Crimson, they are the higher seeded team. They were the only second place team to get that bye to the second round of the winners bracket by virtue of being the highest performing teams of the second place sides. Only lost out to the Nameless Paradox in that Division 1.3 league play by a single game on game win difference. 7-2 both sides records, plus 12 for the Nameless Paradox, plus 11 for ILV Crimson. So they were handed that advantage by virtue of having such a good league play season. They are slightly ahead of Serious Business on that front, who finished third in Division 1.1 with a 6-3 record and a plus 7 game win difference. So if you're a purist and you believe that the league play results are the most influential in terms of how the series is going to go, that means that ILV Crimson are the favourites. But after the way that they lost to Astro Allegiance, are they?
Yeah, and then also we see the series we've just finished. The Astro Allegiance got through to the playoffs by way of a little bit of a favor. They were kind of lucky to get in, and now they've just taken down the number 1 team from the league. So always with Rocket League, who pops off on the day, who has an outstanding day, who brings the magic, who's having a tough day. And that's why we have the unpredictability of Rocket League, and why we love it so much is because there is always the possibility of the team that shouldn't be winning, in fact, going forward to take it down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's happened a few times in these playoffs so far in the ECC. The first and perhaps most notable incident of it was FC NetMeet in the Division 4 playoffs. The 4th seeds in that, they made a run to the final and ended up losing it in 6 games. But the playoffs can truly be a magical place where even the most rank of underdogs can rally back to produce good performances. And that's what Astro Allegiance did today. But this series is about ILV Crimson and Serious Business. And on the side of Serious Business, they haven't actually won a game yet today. The only series that they played was the 3-0 loss to Dawn Guard in the winners bracket second round. Outside of that, they've profited from 2 forfeit wins. So it's quite lucky, perhaps, I think you could even say on their part, that they're even in this series and they've still got the opportunity to grab a best of 5 by the scruff of the neck and advance to day 2. Will they take that opportunity, or will ILV Crimson live up to their higher seed? The series is underway.
We are here. Away they go, and it's taken just 6 seconds for Crimson through Steve to score. Hawkey bullying it round, one defender, and the great pass, and Steve with a tap in. What a great start for Crimson.
Yeah, what a start. Just 6 seconds in. That is the way to get yourself going again after a disappointing series defeat. Serious Business will now have to fight back from down by a goal, and they are pinned back in their defensive third once again. Let's over to the corner. Steve looking for Hawkey in the middle. Now followed up. Hawkey will look for Dutz in front. Dutz redirects it towards the net. ILV Crimson off to a very fast start in this one, but now here comes Serious Business on the counter-attack. There was a demo in behind, and Pi finishes it off with the equaliser.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was going to work. The demo was so fantastic, and then Letz's shot was a little soft, and I thought Steve might spawn back in time to get the save, but not to be. I'm Pi. Gets it in there, and we have a level game. 2 goals, 26 seconds.
From the kickoff, it's gone ILV Crimson's way, but nobody's there to follow up on possession. Hawkey tries to make an interception in the air. Dutz will follow it up. Over to the wing it goes, where Steve is lurking. But a big 50 is won by Alchemy for Serious Business, and Let's nearly had an opportunity to shoot. Pi will now recover possession on the halfway line. Flicks over the top of Dutz. Looks for Alchemy with the pass. And the shot is saved by Hawkey. Good stop there. Serious Business, after the equaliser, have definitely worked their way back into the game.
Yeah, they were a bit shaky after that early concession, but they're pulling themselves together very nicely here and building up some good pressure. A lot of territorial possession, and Alchemy couldn't find the shot for the redirect on target. I'm Pi's going to have another go. Let's is up. Can he get the pass down? He kind of does, but none of his team were close by, close enough to be of any support. But a good period of pressure, but being turned around now. Steve can't get off a shot. So opportunities in succession on both ends. And the game does feel like it's settling down now and looking for someone to grab it and take the initiative.
Yes, it remains deadlocked at 1. It hasn't really been a good day for ILV sides in these ECC Division 1 playoffs. Irrelevant Esports eliminated by Last Wind. Last Wind versus Godalian's Divinity is currently the lower bracket match in Group B on the B stream. So this is the sole remaining ILV side in these playoffs, and of course they are in danger of being eliminated in this series by Serious Business, who rattle a shot off the crossbar. It is a tightly contested game 1.
Yeah, and after a rollicking start with a 6-second goal and a 26-second goal, it's kind of stagnated since then, but now it's going to be broken. I'm Pi gets a second. And it is now a lead for Serious Business. Steve trying to clear, lands up passing it right in front of Umpai, who makes no mistake to slot it home. They have the advantage.
For the first time in this series, Serious Business have the lead. What will they do now that they are playing from in front? Pi looking for a pass into the centre, but both teammates were fairly committed back. Pi will now get a chance to shoot in front of the net, and Steve made the block. Will chase it all the way down to the opposition corner, and now it's Hawkey's turn to take over, as ILV Crimson haven't really had too many opportunities to shoot since they took the lead. Just 3 shots on target for them. Very close to conceding a 3rd goal there, if not for a fantastic save by Steve.
And that save might get them back into it, because of course you see the awesome double touches like we saw from Shadow, from Astro Allegiance in the last series, but also a clutch save can just elevate the level of confidence enough to get the team back in, and they've certainly got the time. 2 minutes is a long time, and they can get back in, but they've got to first, I think, obviously first not concede another, but they are looking better. Since that save, they seem a little more in it, but a bit of defending to do here, which they seem to be doing. Oh, and suddenly looking a little bit shaky after I'm saying they're looking a lot better.
Yeah, most of the offensive pressure in this game has been for Serious Business. They register their 8th shot on target since going 1-0 down, and they have a 2-1 lead to show for it, but they're looking to make it free and put this game out of reach for ILV Crimson, who could strike at any moment. They're a side with dangerous offensive potential. Now they break forwards. into the offensive third, but cleared out by Alchemy. Back to the halfway line where Steve collected boost and now tries to send the ball further forwards, but ran into a Serious Business player. Alchemy now on the counter-attack for Serious Business, but Dutz will send it right back in the other direction. All this possession being exchanged back and forth is really favouring Serious Business as ILV Crimson fail to generate anything towards the net.
Yeah, and their only goal coming from pretty close off kickoff, a play that developed from the kickoff. Both the other goals coming out from Serious Business out in open play, and they've definitely had the better of it, have Serious Business in open play. Alchemy with a shot and another clutch save, which is very good, but they're low on time, 30 seconds. They've got to get to the other side. A shot comes off the crossbar. Tries to get there. Dutz gets the block, but the ball on the wrong side and in the possession of the wrong team. For Crimson, and Iron Pie completes his hat trick, and that, you feel, is going to put the kibosh on game one.
ILV Crimson were no slouches defensively, but they'd never really got the opportunity to go forwards, and unfortunately, if you're pinned back in your own half like that, you can scramble around as much as you want and make desperation saves. Eventually, the other team is going to make the breakthrough, and that's exactly what happened. 15 seconds to go in game one, and this is ticking down to a victory for Serious Business, unless ILV Crimson could create something immediately, but they're going to have to go end-to-end to do it, and you can tell that the team in orange know that they have this game won. A great start to the series for them, and indeed their first game win on the pitch of the evening.
Yeah, and that will, if they needed to be settled, that game and the way they perform there is definitely going to settle them down. Crimson, on the other hand, will be a little frustrated there. Didn't have a lot of the play. They didn't see enough of the territorial pressure. All that work coming from Serious Business for most, and we see it there. 3 shots, Herbie, from Crimson. That is really, really low, and 12 Serious Business, mean business here. Clearly, they do want to take it down. So Crimson, the team that have to find a way back.
Well, it's not against type. ILV Crimson did lose the first game of their series against Astro Allegiance 4-1 before rallying back to win games 2 and 3 of the series. So I don't think they'll be too worried by going 1-0 down, but of course, you still have to win this game to keep yourself in with a genuine chance of winning the series. Pulling off a reverse sweep after you've already lost the game 5 this evening is an extremely difficult task, so ILV Crimson have got to prove that they're the favourites to win this series by levelling it up right now.
All right, well, the moment is now, the future is now, and they've gotten the better of the kickoff, but Alchemy picks it up. It's high and loose in the middle. Who's going to get there first? The 50 works out better for Serious Business, but nothing comes of it, and suddenly, that would have been a bit of a goal out of nowhere. So we don't have the 6-second goal, but Serious Business trying to make it at least within a minute.
Well, Hawkey was actually presented with an extremely good opportunity towards a pretty open net. It was a wide angle, but it should have still been scored, and that could have been ILV Crimson bagging the first goal of the game once again, but as it is, no goal in the first 40 seconds, and that does represent a change-up from the opener. Demo by Hawkey on the right wing. I wonder if we'll see a few more of those in this game 2 of the series. I think ILV Crimson, if they're going to generate more shots on target, they definitely need to do more to disrupt the Serious Business defenders. Hawkey tried to carry the ball underneath one of them, and he may have thrown possession away to Pie here. Pie's going to loop it forwards, looking for Alchemy. Dutz, without boost, does just enough to get the block in.
Yeah, a moment of frustration there for Crimson. They had an opportunity. They really should have done better with it. What can they do here? They've got to take these small windows that appear for them, because Serious Business are still looking to dominate territory and possession and pressure. It's been a good little moment here for Crimson. Oh, it's awkward in front of the Serious Business net. Hawkey, what can he do? Looks for the pass of the back wall. Dutz puts it high. Steve! Oh, somehow it doesn't go in. They're still trying. And it's 3 or 4 consecutive goes. And finally, Hawkey will find a way through all of those defenders. And they are in the lead. An important goal for them.
Yeah, no defensive resistance to Hawkey's final shot. There was plenty of chances before that, but Dutz put some pressure on in the corner, got possession back, and Hawkey was there to apply the finishing touch 1-0 to ILV Crimson, a lot longer than 6 seconds in, but they'll be very grateful to have scored the first goal in this game too. Now it's about building on those foundations and trying to add more to their total. They come forwards here on the counter-attack as Steve look to dribble the ball in. Dutz with the shot. That one comes off the crossbar and away by Alchemy as far as Hawkeye, who sends it back into the corner. They are pressing, looking for this second goal. Steve with the shot. Pi just gets enough of a touch on it to send it away.
Yeah, but so far a much better game here for Crimson after the last game where they were just sucking up so much pressure and dealing with so much pressure on their goal line. They're spending a lot of time here on the other side of the pitch, and this is good, and they've got the lead so they can do it with a bit more confidence than we saw coming out from them. But they've got, again, we've seen a couple of shots, Herbie, that are hitting the crossbar, hitting the post. Oh, what a save from Dutz. And now their clutch saves are going to be important. And if they can get their targeting sorted and get their shots a couple of inches lower, a couple of inches into the left and right, they could be 2 or 3 up, and they will be dangerous if they can sort that out.
Absolutely. I still think that ILV Crimson need another goal in this game. I really don't see them hanging on to a 1-0 lead. It's going to take a monumental defensive effort. They need more offense going forwards than this if they are to win the series. And right now, they are being pressed onto the back foot defensively. They have not escaped their own half in a while. This is a good clear from Hawkeye, though, towards the net. Deflected away to the wing by Iron Pie. Hawkeye leaves the ball off with Steve, and a double commit there from ILV Crimson on the attack. Might just free up some room for Let's down the right wing. Let's flicks the ball in field, looking for Iron Pie, who hits the bar. Rebound falls for Alchemy. Dutz gets the touch over to the wing. With 90 seconds to go, Serious Business are pressing for the equaliser.
Yeah, Iron Pie, after his hat-trick in the last game, would have backed him to find the target on that shot. And to your point, the 1-goal lead is always a tough position in Rocket League because you're always one weird bounce or pinch away from conceding that goal. And there's only a minute left. And despite that, I do think there is a goal in. Oh, but look at this. Steve is going to do just that and find the second goal. I was saying there is a goal in the Serious Business team, but now they're going to have to find 2 in under a minute. And this will settle Crimson. They will be feeling a lot more confident, Herbie.
Massive goal, hugely important to ILV Crimson that they extended their lead. Now as they defend in this last minute, they know that they've got a 1-goal cushion to sit on, and that will be feeling very comfortable as time begins to elapse. They can slow play down in their own corners just to get time off the clock. Serious Business are trying to turn the momentum of the series on its head once again, but it's looking more and more like ILV Crimson's game as we approach the last 30 seconds. Serious Business try and break the defensive resistance at the opposite end, but the ball just keeps coming back. They don't seem to have an answer at the moment for ILV Crimson's higher pressing.
And it's amazing how things switch around. Last game, it just seemed like Serious Business were keeping the pressure on the blue net with ease and at will, and now they just can't get it out of their half, and they're going to concede. They're going to score again, and 3-1 they went down in the last game, and here they are at 3-0, dominating. It's like that first game didn't happen, and they will now level it up and bring the best of 5 into a best of 3.
I just want to say, what an assist there by Steve. 2 touches off of the backboard to redirect the ball, change the direction, making it impossible for the defender to read, and Hawkeye got the opportunity to score in front. 3-0 victory in Game 2 of the series for ILV Crimson. A complete reversal of fortunes from the opening game of the series. They outshot Serious Business heavily, 9 shots to 4, fully deserving of levelling the scores.
Yeah, and they are mirrored versions, these games, almost. If we look at the shot count, we got 9 coming out from Crimson to only 4 from Serious Business, and they couldn't convert any of them. So, and you pretty much called it, Herbie. You said you referenced the previous series where they went down the first game, and then they turned it around in the second game, but they don't want to. They're on the wrong side of the pattern here. You're not going to win a best of 5 if you're winning every second game. You know, they've got to string 2 wins together in a row to put themselves in a proper position. They have a little bit of momentum now, they've got to continue and not allow Serious Business to yank it back.
Yeah, a bit of breathing room for both teams now that it's 1-1. It means that there's no match point after this game. There will, of course, be match point in Game 4, but whoever is down by that point will still have themselves an opportunity to equalise. So for either team, it's an opportunity to really wrestle the momentum of the series away. I couldn't tell you which way it's going to go because we've seen two polarising games so far in the series. A game win for both teams. Who's going to grab the next one?
Yeah, or is it going to land up tightening up altogether where we see almost no goals as both teams kind of stagger their aggression, not wanting to push up too far, want to find opportunities but not risk being counted on? Or are we going to see Serious Business return to what they were doing in that Game 1 where they were just stifling Crimson in terms of space, possession and territory? Or, of course, Crimson doing the same in reverse in that second game. But 30 seconds in, we don't have the early goal, remains goalless. And now here come Serious Business trying to find some of that pressure. Alchemy again, and Pie! Oh, it's blocked away, and we have seen a number of those clutch goal line saves throughout the series from Crimson, and Duts in particular.
Both of these teams, in fact, I would say Serious Business have had a couple of their own moments like that. They certainly know how to defend in their own box, but defending is not all about converging on the front of your goal to make those stops. You have to be able to follow it up with powerful clearances, and ILV Crimson have gotten themselves in a little bit of a sticky situation here in their own third. Duts is going to clear this one upwards, and Hawkeye will help it on, and they've escaped it in very strong fashion. Might even turn it into a counter-attacking chance as Steve just had the briefest of opportunities there to drag the ball in field, but it was a really difficult touch to make. Let's now looking for the shot from up top and got themselves onto the rebound for an extra touch as well. Demo by Let's on Steve is going to give Iron Pie some room. They looked for a bump of their own in front of the net, and you talked about the two teams' temporary no aggression, but I think that's anything but in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, both teams looking for it, but neither have yet been able to build those periods of consistent pressure that we've seen from either team separated, from Game 1 and 2. Both having brief periods of pressure, and then it's put to the other side, and then it's kind of defended, taken out. So it's definitely tightened up, and these teams have gotten closer here in Game 3. And does it come down to a moment of singular brilliance or a catastrophic whiff in front of the net that opens it up? Opportunity here, it's off the backboard, double commit in offense. Neither can find an on-target shot, and now they got to scramble back to get themselves in position to defend, and they do. Oh, a little bit scrappy on both sides of the field there, Herbie.
Well, you're absolutely right. About 30 seconds or so ago, this is turning into one of those pivotal moments of the entire Division 1 playoffs, where one player could well make themselves a hero and spur their team on to the series victory. If they can get the goal that gives them a win in this game and the overall advantage, Hawkeye is trying to be that hero, pushing the ball into the middle, but that was stolen away by Iron Pie, who had the briefest of chances to dink the ball over the top of Let's, but not going to happen. Steve waiting for this pass from Hawkeye out wide, sends it towards the net, but it just floats over the crossbar and away. Just under 2 minutes to go in Game 3, still scoreless. Attacking opportunities for both teams, but no goals.
Yeah, it is a tight game, and it continues to get even tighter. No one able to grab the initiative and yank it from the other team. As one team gets closer, the other finds a way to get themselves back in it. And this is the longest period of time we've had without a goal. And you start to wonder, are we going to see a Game 3 goalless overtime? Probably too early to call that. And Duts trying for the save, misses, but it hits the post and goes out. And somehow Crimson survive, but they are still under pressure. Alchemy looking for the pass, cut out by Steve, but he can't get it turned into anything, and they're still under pressure. Iron Pie again has a shot that gets blocked away.
Only a matter of time, surely. Serious Business should have scored by now with the many presentable opportunities that they've had. They can smell blood, they can sense Game 3 swinging in their direction if they can find the goal, but they cannot find the goal. ILV Crimson come forward on the counter-attack, looking for something rapid. It's Duts off the backboard, Let's is going to clear that one in the direction of I'm Pie, who flies towards the opposite end of the pitch. Now Let's looking for Alchemy with the pass. Let's was up there for the potential redirect, but it was too tight an angle. 30 seconds to go. This ball's headed towards the net from Steve, but Let's just gets enough of a touch on it. Hawkey fires it right back into the mixer as Steve got the demo on Alchemy. Now I'm Pie all the way into the opposition half with 15 seconds to go. Possible shooting chance, but blocked at the source by ILV Crimson. End-to-end stuff here in the final 10 seconds as ILV come back in the other direction. Final few seconds now. Let's will get clear to the halfway line, but Hawkey puts it back in. It's going to drop down in front of the net. Alchemy gets enough of a touch on it to send it clear. Steve keeps it in the air. Will it drop in the corner? Not quite. Kept up. I'm Pie will surely let it drop. OT in game 3.
And not just OT, it's a goalless overtime. 5 solid minutes of Rocket League without a goal. And even though there's... Oh, look! Oh, saved off the line. I thought we were going to have a sub 10-second overtime. It's not to be. And even though we haven't seen a single goal, the game has been incredibly entertaining. Pressure on both sides. And Crimson have probably had the best period of sustained pressure in the last couple of minutes of the game, but they couldn't score. Somehow, Serious Business's defense held on, and they kept it out and kept pushing it away. Their defense didn't break, and now we're set possibly for an epic overtime, as we're seeing pretty much a repeat of what we saw during open play. Each team having small periods of pressure and opportunities. What happens now? Steve! Well, find it off the double. I think the Crimson player flying in acted as a great fake. Hawkey went flying in there, left it for Steve, and they finish it off, and they take 2 in a row, Herbie.
Well, after the second touch, I was a little worried that Steve had actually put that one wide, but it nestles into the bottom left corner to give ILV Crimson the series lead. They have matched their efforts against Astro Allegiance by winning games 2 and 3 after dropping the opener. And let's hope for their sake that the series history does not continue to repeat itself and Serious Business rally to win games 4 and 5 and advance to Championship Sunday. ILV Crimson, the favourites to win this series, have the series lead. What will they do with it in the 4th game? How will Serious Business fight back from being at the brink? They will be eliminated if they don't win the next game.
And it's hard. They've got the win. They're on match point here, but you don't feel that they have the momentum. I mean, that was hard fought. That was 5 solid minutes plus 50 seconds of overtime before the first goal was scored there. So it's not like they were dominating and they had that game, but because they won it, because they had that goal, they're slightly ahead from a momentum perspective, and they've got to utilize that early because Serious Business are going to come out all guns blazing, I think, because they want to overcome that momentum as quickly as possible and convert it back to themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even though ILV Crimson did fight to win that game in OT, it doesn't feel like they should be on the brink of winning the series in this game 4. It really feels like there should be more to come from both of these sides. The only way for that to happen is if Serious Business replicate the efforts of ILV Crimson from the 3rd game and force a deciding 5th game. Scoreless first 20 seconds of game 4. ILV Crimson looking to take the lead. What a bump by Alchemy. I'm Pie will get free down the right wing to try and make something happen for Serious Business. Dutz is clear, has turned the ball over in front of the net, but there is always an ILV Crimson player flinging themselves at the ball to just try and stop it from heading towards their net.
Well, here we are, 40 seconds, 45 seconds done, and looking a little bit like the last game. Oh, almost a double commit there in defense. Steve trying to get it away, cut out by Let's. Who's getting in front of it? Somebody. Oh, I'm Pie was just dispossessed. He's demoed now, and now Alchemy trying to bring it in. And a good period developing here for Serious Business. Can they find a way through? It's saved out for now, but you get a sense that they are building. It's going to be an own goal in the end, but the work, you felt it coming. It was a good 20 seconds of pressure building from Serious Business, and they find a way through.
I mean, I don't blame Hawkey for not saving that. It's coming at him like a lightning bolt. I mean, how can you even get a touch on that to keep it out? Did get a touch on it defensively, wasn't enough. 1-0 to Serious Business. ILV Crimson, though, coming forwards looking for a quick equaliser. Doesn't look like they're going to get it because here is Alchemy from the wing. They've got a player in field in the form of I'm Pie. Now Alchemy is up for the rebound, taps it towards the net. I'm Pie looking to finish it off. Let's was in there for the follow-up opportunity, but they don't capitalise on that, and it remains 1-0.
Yeah, well, so serious business, almost doubling their lead, and it feels like they have swung the momentum in their favor. Although Zant's going to turn around, no, it hits the crossbar. Dutz is up, he can't get there, the touch away. What a golden opportunity to get this game back on level terms. Goes a begging, and serious business continue with their task of taking this game and pushing it to game 5. They almost get the second again, but it remains a 1-goal game. And you made the point in one of the earlier games, 1 goal, you don't think it shouldn't be enough.
Well, I might even be changing that tact after seeing how 1 goal was enough in the previous game of the series. They're desperately trying to make it 2, though. There's carnage in front of the net, and Iron Pie will capitalise on that as they do make it 2-0 with 2 minutes 35 to go. Letz's initial air drag it broke the ILV Crimson defenders. Their programme stopped working, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, and there's sort of a moment of sort of desperate panic. Can we just touch this ball and get it away? And it didn't work. And now 2 goals behind. We just cross over the halfway point. And it is serious business. Looking good. Starting to replicate what we saw from them in that first game, where they were able to build long, sustained periods of pressure and just stifled the air and the oxygen and the boost out of their opponents. And we see it building here. And Crimson back to struggling to get it away. Every touch, every effort to clear it out is being met by someone from serious business, and they almost put a third there but the pressure continues, unless Hawkeye can find something solid here to put a real threat on the net. Yes, it is. It's gonna find a way through, and a tiny bit against the run of play, Herbie. It is Crimson that get themselves out of their half, fight their way to the other side, and bully a goal through.
Yeah, very important goal there for RV Crimson to pull back. In the last minute or so of the game, you could sense that they were just snatching at their opportunities. You wouldn't think body language in Rocket League is a thing, but it actually very much is. When you sort of approach the ball at rapid speed, and then when you actually get to the ball, you don't really know what to do with it, and your touch ends up ballooning off into a far corner. They've had a little bit too much of that, and that's a perfect example of it. But there's a big miss from Letz, and Dutz may have an opportunity to shoot. Serious business. They could be closing out this game, but they're just handing ILV Crimson a bit of a route back into game 4.
Yeah, a moment of scrappiness, and suddenly they're looking a little bit fragile at the back, but maybe now they've had a chance to reset. Alchemy, his shot's going to go high and wide. Iron Pie looking to turn on it, gets it to Let's, and they seem to have settled after a brief moment of uncertainty up against their own goal line.
Is game 5 coming up. 50 seconds to go, separating us from a decider. ILV Crimson pressing forward, looking for the equaliser now. It's an important touch defensively for Let's. Hawkeye was trying to follow it up from the corner. Alchemy is now taken out of the play. Dutz looking for the centre and went for the bump to try and double up on their efforts, but nothing doing on this occasion. A serious business hold their defensive wall. Alchemy has a save to make in front of his net. Iron Pie needed to make that clear as there were 2 defenders committed up on the backboard there, but they've gotten the job done. Now they have possession in the far corner. Alchemy is in behind the defenders, but is demoed for their troubles. Iron Pie looking to put a shot on target as there are 17 seconds separating us from game 5. Hawkeye with the shot, looking for Steve in front. Dutz is maybe there for the rebound, but what a touch by Let's! They'll follow it up, and they will roll the ball into an open net at the other end with 7 seconds to go. A 2-goal lead.
And an ominous feeling of deja vu must be settling on Crimson right now as they stare down another game 5. And oh man, after their performance in games 2 and 3, they might have thought, have we put this behind us? Can we take it? But no, we are going to a decider.
Yeah, quite astonishing, really. This series has gone exactly to type for ILV Crimson as the Astro Allegiance one did. They won games 2 and 3, but sandwiched by defeats in games 1 and 4. Will game 5 end in the same fashion, with ILV Crimson's elimination from these Division 1 playoffs? As a second-seeded team, they would have felt that they had a very strong chance of making the final 6, but Serious Business have pegged them back with a winning Game 4, the hat-trick for Iron Pie, just as they did in Game 1. Now we head into the decider, and I couldn't tell you which way it's going to go.
Yeah, it all comes down, I think, to how Crimson come out here. Serious Business did very well in the last game. They were very quick to kind of extinguish the momentum that Crimson had built coming out of the game prior with that very tight 1-goal win. And Crimson need to do pretty much the same thing here and get themselves into a territorial pressure ascendancy as soon as they possibly can.
I think there might be a restart after that early join on the part of the ILV Crimson players. You can tell that they're chomping at the bit to try and get themselves into this Game 5. They want to get back out there on the pitch and re-establish their dominance, but just jumped the gun a little bit too early there, and that will provide a brief respite for both of these sides before the game actually begins. And the pressure is really on. It's literally one game in Champions Field to keep your Division 1 season alive. I talked about this being where heroes are made earlier in the series, and that could not be more true than right now. Somebody is going to score the winner in this Game 5 that sends their team into another day of Division 1 playoffs.
Yeah, it often feels like when you get to these Game 5s, not always, but this has the feeling of it's going to feel like a 5-minute overtime. It's an entire game of overtime with the battle, and there's two styles of play. You're either sort of trying to be defensive aggressive or aggressive or aggressive defensive, and it'll be keen to see how this goes. Early on, though, it does look like Serious Business want to carry on with the momentum they had in that last game. They had good pressures or periods of pressure, and they want to continue it. Alchemy forward, cut out by Hawkeye, but Iron Pie nearly getting it back in there. And it does look to me, you've spoken about Rocket League body language. It does look like that Serious Business want to take this game. They want to push it. They want to get right in the faces of, oh no! But as I say that, so Hawkeye is going to take goal 1 for Crimson. Dutz there, putting it right down, almost getting in front, getting it in himself. Dutz with Hawkeye with a finish. And what a great start for Crimson.
Yeah, it's so difficult to keep your focus in Game 5 of a series. You've got two teams that both believe that they're the better side because they've taken game wins in the series, but they're also frustrated teams because they've dropped a couple of games. This one's rolling on the line, and Steve is going to turn it home for a 2-goal ILV Crimson lead. How big could that be in a couple of minutes' time? Let's made a great first save. Alchemy unfortunately pinched the ball directly into Steve, who flung themselves. Any contact will do in that situation. 2-0.
That goal is so huge because Serious Business, the early signs were that they were going to build that pressure and be all over Crimson. Now they've conceded 2. Now they're caught between two styles of play. They know they've got to be aggressive, but they'll be really nervous and concerned about conceding a third. And here we see exactly that, playing far too high up. They're trying to take the aggression, and they're being punished at the back. And they've gone down 3 goals inside a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, this is a brutal start to the 5th game for them. ILV Crimson, you feel, are going some distance to exercising the demons that they faced a couple of hours ago, as they have gotten off to a rapid start here in Champions Field. Time is still on the side of Serious Business, but the more goals that they concede without reply, the more difficult it's going to be for them to get back into the game when they do get the chances to come forwards. Here is Iron Pie looking for the shot from Let's. It is on target, but it is denied by Hawkeye. Iron Pie is in for the rebound, but nobody is there for the follow-up shot. Let's will take over and chip the ball into the mixer, but Hawkeye clears out to the wing. ILV Crimson looking confident.
And we see no change in the style of play from Serious Business. They're all in the half. They're all in Crimson's half, looking to apply the pressure. They're thinking, obviously, that this has worked for us. Let's do more of the same. We get 1 goal. We only need 2. Then we get a second. Then it's a 1-goal game. They're pressing hard, but they've got to be concerned. Oh, no! Dutz will get his first of the game and the 4th for Crimson. And that aggressive play not panning out for Serious Business right now.
Disastrous game 5 for them. Is this really how they want their season to come to an end? They're getting hammered at the moment. It's 4-0. It could even be 5 from the kickoff. What a save, just about keeping it out. That was so close. I thought it was a goal for sure. Instead, they come in the other direction, but not for long. Steve blocks it down. There's nobody home in front of the net. What a calamity. 5-0.
This is tough. I mean, it's still more than half the game to go. And in theory, whatever happens in the first half can happen in the second. So Serious Business could find 5, but I don't know how they reset themselves and how they communicate to each other. Like, okay, guys, what's our plan? Or do they just do more of the same and hope for the best? It's such a tough place to be. And it's kind of falling apart, but they do get one back. Bang on the stroke of half time. So perhaps the comeback begins right now.
I've never seen a 5-goal comeback in a competitive Rocket League game. If one happens now, I'll eat a hat. Maybe not my hat, because I like my hats, but somebody's hat. 5-1 with half of game 5 left. Serious Business might just get a second. They are going to get a second. Let's puts it in. It's a 3-goal advantage now for ILV Crimson. I think it's safe to assume that they may have just shut off for a brief period of time, thinking that their 5-goal lead was secure. Now it's a 3-goal lead.
Herbie, I'm going to need an address, just in case, because I'm going to send you a hat. If indeed they do pull it off, suddenly you think, okay, 3 goals. They can get 3 goals in 2 minutes. But they got to capitalize on this great little period of momentum they've suddenly found for themselves. If they get it down to a 2-goal deficit, suddenly Crimson start to go, oh no, are we about to throw away a 5-goal lead? They become nervy. Even though they're the team in the lead, they're going to be the more nervous of the two. So their priority has got to be, let's get a 4-goal lead. Let's get another goal and get back on top of this game. Because right now, it seems that Serious Business are finding a way back into the game. The passing play almost works out. Cut away, but the pressure's still on. And now Serious Business looking a lot more like they've looked in games 1 and 4 with all that pressure that worked for them. But again, playing so high up, Herbie, it's a risky game they're playing right now.
And there are 90 seconds to go in the game, and they haven't really added to their total in a while in this comeback bid. They need a goal fairly soonish to keep the momentum going. And Alchemy is in behind, but Steve rotates back on the near side and gets an important touch. Ball is back in front of the net for I'm Pie. And with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go, they are back within 2 goals.
It is. And Herbie, anybody who's played Rocket League has been in this position. You have dominated. You're out there kicking butt, and you're like, man, we have got this game. And it is so nervy. You have the lead. You've got 2 goals. You're still in the better position, but you are nervous that you're going to throw it away. And it's a good position now for Serious Business, but they got to make it count. And of course, they can't concede. If they concede 1 more, it is going to be all over. They got 50 seconds. They have to find 2, and they've got to find the first of those pretty soon to give themselves a realistic chance.
Yeah, if you get it with more than 20 seconds to go, you've still got an opportunity to generate a passing play from the resulting kickoff. But ILV Crimson have the ball in front of the net. They're still realistically 1 goal away from sealing the deal. It's a 3-on-1 in the opposite direction. Dutz has rotated back on the far side, but here comes Iron Pie off the ceiling by Dutz and cleared out by Steve. Valuable seconds off the clock for ILV Crimson, but here come Serious Business again. Alchemy pushes the ball into the centre. Dutz gets a valuable clear. 15 seconds to go. Still the 2-goal lead remains intact. Iron Pie comes back at the defenders, gets a fake in, but takes a demo for their troubles. Loose ball in front. Alchemy has got to score this. They can't get it on target. 3 seconds, 2 seconds and 1. ILV Crimson are going to hang on. They might even add an extra goal to their total. They are into day 2.
Oh, Herbie, I'm about to say something that's really stupid. But from the point of view of Serious Business, Crimson scored 2 more goals than they should have. And obviously they did, and they held on for that. But the comeback effort was fantastic. And they swung the momentum. They were looking good. And if they just kept it to 2 goals less, maybe even 1, we might be playing overtime in game 5 here. They just couldn't bring it back. and a really bizarre game. I mean, the start from Crimson was ideal. They had 5 goals in what seemed like a really short period of time, and it looked like it was all over. But then a great period from Serious Business, and the comeback was on. I thought, man, this is going to happen. I'm going to have to send Herbie a hat to eat, but probably 1 or 2 goals too far for them to make an effective comeback.
Yeah, but it's a good way to end their time in this season of the ECC for Serious Business, because interestingly enough, with ILV Crimson jumping out to that massive advantage, it's not what this Game 5 is going to be remembered for. The narrative will have shifted to Serious Business's attempt at a 5-goal comeback that didn't quite happen for them. Yes, they got free, they didn't quite make it, but when people look back on this game, I'm not sure they're going to be thinking about how ILV Crimson won it, but by how Serious Business got part way to something truly spectacular. But nonetheless, ILV Crimson are into day 2. They join Astro Allegiance, Dawn Guard, Astro Zenith, Fort Templar Academy, and Godalian's Divinity. The Nameless Paradox and the Relevant Esports, 2 top seeds in Division 1, have gone out before day 2. Dawn Guard is the last champion standing. The winners of Division 1.2 find themselves the lone top seed to make it into day 2, as there are some real surprises that have joined them. The Astro teams are among them. Astro Allegiance with an excellent lower bracket run. Astro Zenith matching it as well. It will be really exciting to see both of those teams in day 2.
Well, after around 10 weeks of Rocket League in this tournament, it comes down to everything tomorrow. All the large pool of teams whittled down to just 6 who are going to take to the field tomorrow to decide the ultimate champion for this season in this division.
Well, that brings to an end the most spectacular day of streaming that Slipstream has enjoyed this season. The A stream and the B stream have been on the go since 5 Central European time. We covered as many matches as we possibly could. A big shout out has to go to, of course, Greybeard alongside me in the casting booth, the Sunderlad streaming as well, and the other 8 members of the Slipstream production team who lended their talent to us tonight to bring you those matches. A superb effort from us, but of course a superb effort from the teams that qualified for day 2 of Divisions 1 and 2. Superb effort from them. We will be back at about 5 Central European time tomorrow to name the Division 2 and 1 champions. But from myself and Greybeard, thank you for watching and good night.